There's been a lot of talk this year about Celtic and Hearts. Will Hearts be able to beat the boys and win the league title? Well, we have some huge news that goes in Celtic's favour. We will discuss what that is in today's video, whilst going over all the latest Celtic news from the last 24 hours. But first, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Former Scotland international Barry Douglas believes Celtic will get away with their poor summer transfer window because none of the chasing pack are strong enough to mount a serious title challenge. Douglas, who faced Brendan Rodgers' Celtic with St Johnston last season, admitted the unrest among supporters is understandable after what many see as a shambolic window, but he suggested Celtic's dominance may continue by default rather than design. He said, "I think they've just got that expectation because they've always been at the top, so to probably not feel that they've went and reinvested to stay up there, but they're probably fortunate that the rest of the chasing pack is not as strong either." Okay, you spoke about Hearts, but I don't think over the course of the season they've got enough to challenge them for the title. Rangers need a big boot up their arse, to be honest, don't they? Celtic sit top of the Premiership on goal difference after their win at Kilmarnock, conceding just one goal in the league so far, but the tension between board and fans has overshadowed results on the pitch. Rodgers himself has admitted the squad was left short after key departures weren't replaced, while organised supporter protests against the hierarchy are only gathering pace. Despite this, Douglas believes that unless Hearts can sustain their form or Rangers rediscover momentum under Russell Martin, Celtic remain in pole position to retain their crown. For many supporters, though, the fear is that complacency in the boardroom will only store up bigger problems down the line. It's already seen Celtic miss out on Champions League football this season when it should have been a straightforward qualification. Now for the main story, as Celtic have received a timely boost with Alistair Johnston, revealing he is ahead of schedule in his recovery from injury and could return sooner than expected. The Canadian defender was initially ruled out until late November or early December after sustaining a significant setback earlier this season. But speaking on the Park the Bus podcast, Johnston admitted his rehabilitation has progressed better than he feared. "When the original injury happened, I feared the worst," Johnston said. "Obviously it's a pretty significant injury still, but I'm actually ahead of where I thought I was going to be. I'm not going to put a timeline on it yet, I'm just taking it day by day. I feel really good, which is the hardest part about the whole thing. I feel like I'm ready to go out there and play, but obviously there's still a lot of boxes that need to get checked before I can get back to my full level. I'm hoping to be back in the nearer future than originally expected." Johnston's absence has been felt, with Brendan Rodgers forced to reshuffle his defence in recent weeks. Youngster Colby Donovan was even drafted into the starting 11 at Kilmarnock due to Johnston and Tony Ralston both being unavailable. A quicker than expected return for the 26-year-old would be a major lift for Rodgers, who has endured a turbulent start to the campaign, both on and off the pitch. Celtic fans will be eager to see Johnston back in action, but the defender insists he won't rush his comeback until fully cleared. He's been a great player for Celtic. He's always high up on the assist charts and has chipped in with a few goals too. Celtic will be glad to get him back sooner, especially with European games on the horizon. He adds quality and leadership to the right side of the pitch. In other news, Sebastian Tunekti may have shone on his debut against Kilmarnock, but journalist Michael Gannon has claimed Celtic could have secured the winger's signing a full month earlier. The 23-year-old deadline day arrival from Hammarby cost Celtic around £5 million and immediately impressed with a man-of-the-match performance at Rugby Park, but his transfer saga dragged on throughout August, with fears the move would collapse altogether before a late breakthrough. Speaking on Record Sports Hotline Live, Gannon suggested Celtic's recruitment team was slow to act. He said, "These guys should have been in the door early. I mean, Tunekti for £5 million. They could have had him a month earlier." Never happened, Tunekti himself revealed this week that Hammarby were reluctant to let him go while in the middle of their title push, but he admitted he had made clear to his coach and agent that Celtic was his only choice if he was to leave. The criticism comes amid growing pressure on the Celtic board, with fans furious over what they see as a lack of planning in the transfer market. Brendan Rodgers has also been outspoken, insisting that players needed to arrive earlier in the summer to prepare for Champions League qualifiers, a demand the club once again failed to meet. Tenecti's arrival offers hope that Celtic have unearthed a genuine attacking threat, but questions remain over why the signing was left to the final hours of the window when, as Gannon argues, the deal could have been concluded far sooner. In other news, Cy Ferry has praised young fullback Colby Donovan after the 19-year-old seized his opportunity in Celtic's win over Kilmarnock. With Alistair Johnston sidelined by a hamstring injury and Tony Ralston also unavailable, Brendan Rodgers turned to Donovan, who only weeks ago looked set for a loan spell at Dundee before the move was blocked due to the Hoops' defensive shortage. Donovan held his own at Rugby Park and even played a role in the decisive penalty, showing the positivity Ferry believes marks him out. He said, "I love it. For the penalty, other young kids would have passed it back. He's a young boy, but he's so positive. When he played with the B team, I always really liked him." But again, he wasn't one that you'd look at in the B team and be like, he was a standout. There are other kids there. They just need opportunities. He went on and done so well. I think he done really well yesterday. Ferry has seen a lot of the Celtic youngsters over the last few years. Before he was assistant manager at East Kilbride, he managed Broomhill in the Lowland League. Donovan's emergence comes at a time when Celtic's depth has been stretched, with defensive injuries leaving Rodgers short of options. But his composed performance will give the manager confidence in trusting youth if required again. Celtic have a few players out on loan in the Scottish Championship, getting consistent minutes at a decent level. Kyle Ure and Jude Bonner have impressed fans, and with them getting game time with Scott Brown's side, the hope is that they'll come back better players and ready to challenge for some places in the first team squad. Lastly, Celtic FC is set to publish its annual report within the next 7 to 10 days, with potential record-breaking financial results on the way. The Celts' run in the Champions League last term likely means turnover will hit an all-time high, boosted by UEFA prize money, an extra home game in the league phase, broadcasting income, and commercial strength. On paper, the numbers could indicate that the club is in the best financial health of its history. But for many supporters, the finances are only half the story. The summer transfer window was viewed as a disaster, with glaring weaknesses in the squad left unaddressed despite the club being cash-rich. That frustration has already spilled into protests, banners, and growing discontent inside Celtic Park. The annual results are traditionally accompanied by a statement from the chairman, offering the board's take on the year just gone and their vision moving forward. While the financials provide the hard numbers, it's the chairman's words that often spark the most debate among supporters. Peter Lawwell remains a divisive figure in the eyes of fans, and his words will be measured against the board's actions. The last time the hierarchy spoke out, in the statement issued just after the transfer window closed, it was branded tone-deaf, arrogant, and very misguided. Instead of acknowledging failings, it doubled down, leaving Brendan Rodgers to face the backlash alone and address someone inside the club briefing against him. With record revenues potentially on the way, supporters will demand to know why financial strength has not been matched by football ambition. Can the board square the circle and rebuild trust? Or will they again lean on healthy numbers as justification for their strategy and hide behind the flimsiest of excuses where they act like Celtic are the only club subject to the market conditions football finds itself in? The report's release has become more than just an annual business update. It's a test of whether Celtic's hierarchy can reconnect with a support that feels taken for granted. What do you think of what we discussed in today's video? Let us know down in the comments section below. Make sure you've liked this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Thank you, take care, goodbye.